Alright, here's an intro to functions, and I'm saying an intro to because we're going to get into functions more in depth a little bit later on. But basically what a function is, it's an equation that contains two variables and that can be used as a rule to generate ordered pairs. Alright, and as you learned from the in previous grades and from the coordinate plane video, you can get ordered pairs that you can graph on a coordinate plane. So basically, a function is some sort of line. For today, we're only going to be talking about straight lines, and for most of the year, we're only going to be talking about straight lines. But basically, we have a variable that's going to be an input that's going to give us an output. So kind of like a machine almost, where you put something into it, and then it outputs something different. So the input for us is going to be x, and the output is y, or it'll be set up as an equation, just like this. All right, the input is x, meaning if I input something in for x, like the number 1, that would be 10 times 1 plus 5, or 10 plus 5, which is 15. So when my input is 1, I get 15, okay? So that can be set up as an ordered pair. Remember, ordered pairs are set up as xy coordinates. So my x that I put in was 1, and my y came out to be 15. So for this particular function, y equals 10x plus 5, when my input is 1, my output is 15. Okay, so let's put this to use on a couple examples here. This is a word problem, but it's a function word problem. So a caricature artist charges his clients a $5 setup fee plus $10 for every person in a picture. Write a rule for the artist's fee. Write ordered pairs for the artist's fee when there are 1, 2, 3, and 4 people in the picture. Okay, so first of all, we have to write a function rule. Okay, so a caricature artist is someone who draws your picture very crazily, usually at fairs and things like that. So he charges $5 for a setup. So no matter what, you're going to get a $5 charge. All right. And actually, let's not use y. Let's use a different number. Well, for now, let's say we've got our $5 setup fee, and that's going to be plus $10 for every person. And we'll just call this we'll call it the total amount of money that's going to be spent. All right, so $5 plus 10 times however many people there are. Okay, now we can set up a chart like this and figure out what it's going to cost depending on how many people there are. So if there's just one person, I can plug in 1 for P. This is just like the one I did on the previous screen. 10 times 1 is 10, and 10 plus 5 is 15, so you're looking at $15. So there's an ordered pair. If I put in 2 for 2 people, it's going to be 2 times 10, which is 20, and 20 plus 5, $25. And you'll start to notice a trend here. Secondly, if I put in 3, so 3 people in my picture, it's going to be 3 times 10, which is 30, plus 5, the total is $35 when there are 3 people. Now, as you look here, as we go down, you start to notice a pattern, and that's because this would give us a straight line if we graphed it. As we add 1 person each time, the price goes up $10. And you can check to see if that would be the case. So those would be the ordered pairs for 1, 2, and 3, and 4 people in my painting. Lastly, let's graph the function y equals 3x plus 5. Now here you're going to notice they don't give you any points to graph. They're just going to say graph it however you want to. I have a rule I like to graph 3 points, 3 to 5, just to be safe. But I'm going to set up an XY chart. All right. So one point that I always like to graph is 0. It's It's usually the easiest, and it usually gives us, well, when we get a little further into functions, it's just a nice point to check. It gives us a good point of information. So anyway, this means if I input 0 for x, what am I going to get for my output? Well, 3 times 0 is 0. 0 plus 5 is 5. So here is one of my points, over 0 of 5. And then I like to check a point directly above that, as in integer-wise. So I go up to 1. So now, if I put 1 in for x, what is my output going to be? So 1, 3 times 1 is 3, plus 5 is 8. So over 1 of 8. There we go. And sometimes I like to check a number below the one below 0 as well. Negative 1's a nice easy one. So if I put negative 1 in for x, it's 3 times negative 1, which is negative 3. And negative 3 plus 5 gives me 2. So back 1, up 2. And you'll notice that if I tried to connect these, I would form a straight line, straight as I can make it anyway. Now this is just indicating that I could put in different values in between integers if I wanted to. So for instance, I could put in 1/2 in for x and get out a number. So if I did that, 3 times 1/2 plus 5. So 1/2 times 3 is 1/2. So we'd be looking at 6.5 when x is 1/2. So we'll go up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and it's pretty close to 6.5. If I could draw a straight line, that would work out very nicely. So you can put in values in between there too, and that's what the line is for. It indicates that it's going to go forever in the right direction, forever in the left direction, and forever up and down as well. All right, that's all I've got for you on this one.